All right. Good day to you from wherever you might be opportuned to join us today. We greet on our way make I speak our Obodo Nigerian English. All right. For our Bonge new episode for Movement Radio. And hope say we meet you well in high spirit. We know if we greet you good morning, I'll be good afternoon, I'll be a good evening, because we know say if possible make things not too good for that side, And as well it be for here too, all of us day for inside the palaver for our Bodo Nigeria. But we greet you once again for joining us in our fresh episode of the Movement Radio. We are so happy to have you join us. As they always know, say we they always bring ogbonge, articles, and perspective, viewpoint. Maybe say they different from the mainstream media. If then they feed you lies, you can indeed bank on the Movement Radio. Say we know if we tell you lie for year. As it take B, now we go take talk am, and we go bring about so many areas where you know even see the matter from. We go bring them for Movement Radio. Movement Radio, now establishment where we say a day for empowering minds and to change the narrative. We know say our problem for Nigeria are three things. And number one, our collective silence, all right? And of course, number two, now the enemies within. Number three are the ruiners. And if we can indeed get rid of the first and the second, we believe, say that third one, maybe the ruiners, they go run away. And it is the process of, ending the collective silence, now you make, or perhaps exposing the enemies where they within us. And that enemy where they support government for your street, for your yard, for your face, me, I slap you, if we can expose them and make them change their ways or build a community where we say we are sort of okay, we they speak up about the ills of society, the ruiners would not have any option than to run away. And of course, now in way would they for this move mission. Now the mission we are embarking on with that. All right. And we want to bring you on board. All right. We want to indeed assure you that we are in this together. All right. We did together. And for this year, saying the major thing, day for who, day for you. All right. Day for who, day for you. Nigerian struggle, it they mischaracterize. That one a big English. We don't misinterpret them as a pro-democracy one. But not be pro-democracy one. All right. Now, liberation struggle, awaiting the consciousness of the Nigerian people. And Nigeria has been captured by some set of people. All right. And we have to free ourselves from the hands of these Ogbonge evil men. We don't capture us economically and politically. So you are welcome to Movement Radio today. And I'm very pleased to have my colleague here from Abuja. I am from Movement Radio Lagos. And of course, we have Movement Radio Abuja. I'll pass him the mic for his opening remark. Take it away, sir.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are joining us from. This is Movement Radio, the voice of liberation, where we talk about the truth. We talk about the things that you won't get it anywhere but the Movement Radio. The Movement Radio is set up to empower you, educate you, enlighten you, and to tell you the truth and to liberate that your mind, because the full meaning of liberation is not you being free, being able to move, being able to stay alive. No, but you being able to be free consciously, to be consciously aware of what is happening to you, and to be able to have that free mind and free thoughts to think what is right and to differentiate between what is right and wrong. So Movement Radio is here for you. My name is Abdullah Salisu Aliyu, here at the Movement Radio in Abuja. I welcome you all across all social media platforms, be it YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, or even TikTok. Though today our TikTok might not be live because one of our producer is not here and we missed him so dearly. So I look forward for your contributions, either your comment or you pick up the mic via X space where you make your contribution, because we at Movement Radio, we are not a one-way traffic. We are a two-way flow where we talk, you talk, where we ensure that everybody's opinion is respected and everybody's opinion is opinion that will lead to a great Nigeria. Movement Radio is embarking on a Nigerian project that belongs to all of us. All of us, all our hands must be on deck to make sure that we get that great country that will bequeath to our own children, to our grandchildren, where we'll be proud of. History will vindicate us. History will be able to give us that pat in the back that yes, you have done well, so that we'll be able to answer the questions when our children or grandchildren ask us, when Nigeria is at the coma or is at the verge of destruction, what are your own contributions? What have you done to save the country? So that we'll be able to tell them what we do. You too, you should join Movement Radio by commenting, giving out your opinion, giving out your contribution. When we make mistake, you can come and correct us. Or when you think there are other means we can expand and go forward, we are all welcoming your opinion. So thank you. Back to our Lagos studio.
Yes, thank you very much indeed. And without further ado, make we not waste time. We are going to begin our article for today. And the topic, the major topic for today, Nigeria is richer than ever. So why does nobody feel it? Now, the topic for today be that Nigeria is richer than ever. So why does nobody feel it? All right. And it, of course, is by our yours truly, Abdullahi Salisu of the Movement Radio. And of course, I'll say, would you like to do the reading or I should proceed, sir?
Let me do the reading. Maybe then we'll do the mind
All
map.
right.
Today we'll just
Yeah.
keep the summary.
All right. Proceed. Proceed. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you so much. So Nigeria is richer than ever. So why does nobody feel it? That's the title of the article, and that's the title of the program today. However, how 3 years of record revenue expose the real crisis of Nigerian governance, not scarcity, but priorities, by Abdullahi Salisu Aliyu. Between 2022 and 2025, the 34 Nigerian states for which reliable record exists did something that should, by every conventional measures, count as a triumph. Their combined revenue rose from 4.84 trillion to 15.53 trillion, a nominal increase of 220% in 3 years. Federation account allocation alone more than triple from 3.43 trillion to 11.38 trillion, swollen by the removal of the fuel subsidy, the unification of the exchange rate, and a naira that now yield far more in local currency from every dollar of oil sold abroad. By any historical standard, this is the single largest expansion of subnational physical capacity in a generation. And yet, ask the teachers in Katsina still, or her allowance, the mother queue at a primary health center in Kebbi with no drugs on the shelf, or a trader in Ibadan navigating a road that has been under construction since the last election, whether they feel richer, and the answer will not be complicated. It will not be. That contradiction, soaring government revenue alongside stagnant of declining human welfare, is not sorry revenue declining human welfare is not an accidental of bad luck. It is a story where the money spent, told in the state's on budget implementation reports, and it deserves to be told loudly because it is It explains more about why Nigeria is not moving forward than any speech in restructuring, security, or corruption ever will. So this is the first two paragraphs of the article as we await our co-host from Lagos. Maybe he will join back because I would like to be reading while I'm reading is displaying on the background. So this is an article that is trying to explain to us the 3 years of our own performance so far since the removal of fuel subsidy and the unification of the dollar exchange, naira to dollar exchange, where we don't have multiple exchange rates. The government tried to fix the exchange rate to a one unified exchange rate where we now, so all the gains that we have gained so far, we are trying to see how did government use it, how it does it affect the common man on the street, because this article is as a result of the budget report that comes out just last week, where they gave breakdown of how revenue in Nigeria grew up from its normal, from the some trillions of naira to, if you can see from the article where we point out an increase of from states that before their revenue is just 4.84 trillion, it skyrockets from 4.84 trillion to 15.53 trillion, a nominal increase of 220%. That's a very skyrocket expansion. And the federal allocation alone has more than tripled from 3.43 trillion to 11.38 trillion. You see, if you can just look at the gap from three, because even three of it's almost four. It's almost four. It multiplies itself by almost four because from 3 to 11 is something very wide. But what is the plight of the common man in Nigeria? That's what the article is trying to ask you. Does that help improve the life of the common man in Kebi, in Kano, in Katsina, in Jigawa, in Maiduguri, in Ibadan, in Oshun, in Ekiti, in Oyo, in Kwara, in Kogi, in Enugu, in Anambra, in Imo, or in Bayelsa, or in the Abuja Capital Territory? How does this replicate in the lives of the common men in the street? So that's a question that we ask each and every one of us. How are we getting it right? Just 34 of these states have gotten this far much increase, while the people still go to hospital, they didn't get the drugs, while the people still go to the market and still see the price of things high. The worker who is working, if you look at the increase in the minimum wage, it's not equivalent to what we are getting now, because the revenue of the government has more than tripled, but the salary and wages of the workers did not, because they are saying they are trying to curtail what? They are trying to curtail inflation, but are we controlling inflation? Because if you look at the report, inflation is still present in our economy. It's still showing us, it's still going with us, it's still happening. So what are we doing? Is it actually a failure of governance or short scarcity? Because this article is trying to tell you it's not the scarcity, because now we have the resources. The states are getting billions and trillions of money every year. Because if you look from the removal of subsidy, no state in Nigeria, its budget is not getting up to close to a trillion or more. Even the state that we call with small revenue. But what is happening with the common people? What are they prioritizing? They prioritize capital project. Some of them will tell you legacy project. Legacy project for who? For the people that they are clean every day. All things are not going right. Let's move forward to the next subheading. A windfall that bypassed the people who needed it most. That's the title of the second stage of the article. A windfall that bypassed the people who needed it most. Start with the most damning number in the entire post subsidy story. Personal expenditure, the salary of teachers, nurses, agricultural extension workers, and the rest of the public workforce that keeps government functioning at the point where citizens actually meet the state grew at barely half the pace of the state revenue, while aggregated revenue expanded at the compound annual rate of 47.5%. Personal spending crawled from at 22.96%, a share of total expenditure. The wage bill collapsed from 24.99% in 2022 to just 16.16% in 2025. This is not physical prudence. Sorry, this is not physical prudence. It is a quiet transfer of the gain of reform away from working Nigerians. The same 3 years in which states discover record liquidity were the years in which inflation eroded and real income fast, in which the nation minimum wage was renegotiated only after sustained pressure, and in which the cost of the bag of rice times school fees or tank of cooking gas roughly double or worsen. So thank you. You are welcome back. I'm just trying to explain some of the things. As you come back, we are going back to this. I'm starting all over again because I want our viewers and our audience so that they will go along. As they are seeing it on the screen, I will be reading it. So I'm starting all over again when you share it on the screen. You're welcome back. I know the network is not in our favor, but we'll keep doing. We'll not stop. We'll continue.
I had to use my phone to come in right now. My system is not connecting to my Wi-Fi. I don't know why, but well, you can hear me loud and clear, right?
Yes, I can hear you.
I think it's my system acting up, so I just have to use my phone to come in, and that will be
Oh,
problematic for me to put stuff on the main screen. Maybe we have to just see ourselves, our faces today. But
okay.
I'll try to maneuver. Maybe we can actually share the screen. So please continue, proceed.
Okay. So let me start all over again as you are here. How 3 years
Yeah,
of record revenue
please proceed.
exposed the real crisis. The real crisis of Nigerian governance, not scarcity but priorities, by Abdullahi Salisu Aliyu. By 2022 and 2025, the 31st Nigerian state of which reliable record exists did something that should, by every conventional measures, count as a triumph. Their combined revenue rose from 4.84 trillion to 15.53 trillion, a nominal increase of 220% in 3 years. Federation account allocation alone more than triple from 3.43 trillion to 11.38 trillion, swollen by the removal of fuel subsidy, the unification of exchange rate, and the naira that now yield far more in local currency from for every dollar of oil sold abroad. By any historical standard, this is the single largest expansion of subnational physical capacity in a generation. And yet, ask the teachers in Katsina still owe her allowances. The mother queue at the primary health center in Kebbi with no drugs on the shelf, or a trader in Ibadan navigating a road that has been under construction since the last election, whether they feel richer, and the answer will not be complicated, it will be no. Contra- Contradiction, soaring government revenue alongside stagnant or declining of human welfare is not an accident of bad luck. It is the story of where the money went, told in the state-owned budget implementation reports, and it deserves to be told loudly because it explains more about why Nigeria is not moving forward than any speech or on restructuring or security. Sorry, speech on restructuring, security, or corruption ever will. A windfall that bypassed the people who needed it most. Start with the most damning number in the entire post-subsidy story. Personal expenditure, the salary of teachers, nurses, agricultural extension workers, and the rest of the public workforce that keeps government functioning at a point where where citizens actually meet the state, grew at barely half the pace of state revenue, while aggregated revenue expanded at a compound annual rate of 47.5%. Personal spending crawled forward at 22.96% as a share total expenditure. That the wage bill collapsed from 24.99% in 2022 to just 16.16% in 2025. This is not a fiscal prudence. It is a quiet transfer of gains of reform away from working Nigerians. The same 3 years in which state discover record liquidity were the years in which inflation eroded real income fastest, in which the national minimum wage was renegotiated only after sustained pressure, and in which the cost of bag of rice, a term school fees, a tank of cooking gas roughly double or worse. If wages had merely kept pace with revenue growth, let alone with price, millions of public sector households will be living a material different life today. Instead, the reform divided flow elsewhere and flowed elsewhere. And the workers who deliver public service absorb the inflation shock nearly alone. Concrete over classroom, road over clinics. Where then did the windfall go? Where did then the windfall go? Overwhelming into capital projects and the overwhelming into capital projects and overwhelming into roads. Aggregate capital expenditure rose 288% from 2.79 trillion to 10.85 trillion, comfortably outpassing every other categories of spending. Infrastructure alone swallowing a right share of total state budget, climbing from roughly 24% to 34.5%. And within that category, spending routed through Ministry of Works, Construction, and Public Works jump from seven jump from 997.7 billion to 4.49 trillion, taking its share of infrastructure money from just over half to almost 69%. That's 69%. Roadmaster. No serious person dispute that connectivity, drives commerce, but a state that pours an ever large share of its windfall into upsells will its while its investment in the people who will use those roads shrink in relative terms, is not building an economy, it is building a monument. Education spending rose in naira terms from 923.6966 billion to 2.21 trillion, but its share of total state expenditure fell from the 14.85% to 12.35%, well short of the 15 to 20% of the public expenditure that UNESCO HN framework asks government to commit to education. Health spending allow sorry health spending follow this identical pattern, up in absolute term from 485.8 billion point zero 0.08 billion to nearly 1.19 trillion, but down as a share of the budget from 7.80% to 6.65%, less than half of the 15% that the African Union member states, Nigeria included, pledged in Abuja Declaration of 2001, a promise now approaching its 25th anniversary of being broken. Put plainly, for every additional naira that flow into state coffers after the subsidy was removed, a shrinking fraction was earmarked for the classroom and the clinic. That is not a technical budgeting detail. It is a statement of priorities made in numbers rather than speeches, and it is the single clearest explanation for why citizenry surrounded by the new flyovers and the freshly graded roads still cannot access a functioning hospital bed or a well-paid, well-motivated teacher. The government house problem. If wages and social services were squeezed, one might expect the cost of governance itself to have been squeezed too. It was not. Aggregated administration expenditure, the cost of running government house, the office of the secretaries to the government, state assemblies and the civil service leadership rose to by 153% from 845.28 billion to 2.16 trillion. More striking is what happened inside the envelope. Spending through the offices of secretary to the government nearly tripled, and its shares of total administrative spending jumped from just over 30% to almost 40%, even as spending on the legislature and the head of service held roughly steady. Meanwhile, the office of the governor and the government house remained by a wide margin the single largest recipient of administrative funding in every year of the review period. None of this is illegal. Coordinating a modern state costs money, but when the machinery of coordinating grows faster than the machinery of delivery, when the office that plan and announce expand more quickly than the classroom and hospital, what that deliver citizens are entitled to ask which government they are actually paying for. Next one, borrowing in the middle of a boom. That's another subheading. Perhaps the most revealing finding in the entire 3 years record is this. Every even as available resources to state surge by a compound of 49.4% at a year, the number of states unable to balance their books before borrowing actually rose. In 2022, 19 of the reporting states ran a deficit before assessing debt. By 2025, in the middle of the most generous revenue environment Nigeria federalism has produced in decades, that number had climbed to 25 out of the 24. Aggregate that state borrowing rose from 1.24 trillion to 2.05 trillion regardless. Some of this reflect genuine, well-judged investment. State borrowing to build ahead of needs, the way any growing economy should. But the pattern also exposed something less comfortable. Revenue windfall were treated as license to spend rather than as opportunity to rebuild reserves, retire debt, or lock in a permanent gains for citizens. A handful of states, including one whose oil sector recipient deliver the largest fiscal surplus record anywhere in the federation, showed that restraint was possible. That most states choose a different path, saying something about the discipline or the absence of it. That still governs that still governs Nigerian public finance, subsidy removal notwithstanding. A warm about one of money dressed off as growth. One state internally generated revenue grew faster than any other in Nigeria over the review period. A headline achievement on its face. Dig one layer deeper, however, and the growth is revealed to rest substantial on the proceed from land and property transaction through a state housing development agency, a, s- a serial one-time source of income, not a repeatable tax base. Presenting such receipt as evidence of strengthening economy and potential borrowing against the expenditure against the expectation that they will recall is precisely the kind of physical illusion that has punished Nigerian government, federal and state alike before. Growth built on selling asset is not growth. It is liquidation dressed up as progress, and any state tempted to follow the model should be told so plainly before the balance sheet tells them itself what Nigeria owes itself. None of this indict every governor, and it will be dishonest to present the picture is uniform bleak. A handful of states did not use the post-subsidy windfall as it was meant to, as it means to be used. Spending revenue, investing in capital project, and still finding room to grow education and health spending faster than the national trend. Their example prove the constraint was never truly financial. Nigerian subnational government were not shelved of money between 2022 and 2025. They were the way they were for the first time in a generation drowning in it. What most of them lacked was the discipline to convert liquidity into human development. That is the uncomfortable truth is the uncomfortable truth this data forced into the open. Nigerian crisis has never been solely a crisis of scarcity. It is a crisis of priority, of accountability, and of a political culture in which the visible monument, the flyover, the renovated government house, the ribbon cutting, and it rewarded more reliably at the ballot box than the invisible cumulative work of the well-paid teacher or a fully stocked primary healthcare center. Until citizens demand budget that measures success in literacy rates and maternal mortality figure rather than kilometers of asphalt, government will keep building road nowhere in a particular in particular, while the human capital that should be working those roads to prosperity is left behind. The subsidy is gone. The naira has been devalued. The federal transfer have tripled. Nigeria has, in other words, already swallowed the bitter medicine that economists promised would eventually heal the patient. The revenue is here. What remains dangerously, stubbornly absent is the will to spend it on the people who paid the price for it in the first place. That is not a technical failing. That a better spreadsheet can fix it. It is a moral failing that only sustain public pressure, relentless transparency, and citizenry that refuse to mistake concrete for a competence can ever correct. So that's the last paragraph. And let me read the last sentence again. This is not a technical failing that a better spreadsheet can fix. It is a moral failing that only sustain public pressure, relentless transparency, and a citizenry that refuse to mistake concrete for competence can ever correct. So this is just telling you that it's not a technical mistake that when they say the removal of subsidy will enhance the economy, the well-being of Nigerians. So now that it's not doing so, it's not a technical mistake, but what is a moral burden that many of the political leaders or political office holders refuse to take, which the citizens can fix it by what? By putting pressure on them and what? Asking for relentless transparency and a citizenry that refuse concrete for competence, so that nobody will come and tell you, I'll do this, I'll do. No, the competency of the person is very important. It's what is the most important thing to ask and to work with. So thank you. Maybe if possible, if my brother from Lagos can be able to chip in some things, because today we have some kind of technical hitches. So maybe the program will not last as it should be, but we'll try our best. We can't just leave our audience, we'll have to give you something. So this is the first article. While we have another article to also go, but before then, we will go in a like more of a conversational discussion from the Abuja and the Lagos studio. We'll be sharing, we'll be talking about some of the revealing aspects of the article, just as I started earlier. So now we'll go back to the first paragraph. Maybe my brother from Lagos will be able to chip in something.
Yeah, yeah. I wish I'm able to chip in something, but I am literally battling for my PC here to connect to my Wi-Fi to connect to the PC. I have absolutely no idea. I'm currently troubleshooting the computer as we speak at the moment. But that was a fantastic article in my view, and I think going by what I'm seeing from the article, there are so many jewels that we can extract from it. But I hope I'm even audible based on the distance and proximity from this phone to my mouth. So maybe we have to
Yes,
fly
you are
very fine.
audible.
Yeah,
You
okay,
are
okay. Maybe
audible.
we have. So from what I'm looking at
Yes,
here,
what the article is just saying is just declare how revenue surge, how the revenue increase in the government purse, but the citizens are not feeling it, because just within the short period of time where how the 34 states in Nigeria that before they are getting just 4.84 trillion, now they are getting 15.5 trillion. So it's telling you almost times three of what they are getting, more than times three of what they are getting before, or almost times three of what they are getting before. But does the life of the people improve by even times two? That is a question that one should be asking. If the government is getting this, then and then why the government? Why is the government prioritizing capital project instead of prioritizing improving the living standards of the populace? Because it's the public, it's the people that make the sacrifice. Because that's what the article is asking. The people made the sacrifice, bear the brunt. When subsidy was removed, everybody almost, if you fly the road, then the first 2 3 months of the removal of subsidy, the road becomes scanty, people stop traveling, businesses started crashing. Because what you were able to buy before, maybe as a petty trader by the roadside, maybe you are able to buy a carton of maybe a biscuit, then you have to stop buying maybe other products, other goods, for you to be able to buy that biscuit, if that is the most selling good in your shop, or in your table, or in the tray that you carry. Road hawkers that are buying maybe a mudu or two of granite, their business collapse, because maybe if they are buying the mudu of granite at 200 naira, it becomes 6 or 800 naira. So you literally, your money cannot even afford a mudu, because you are using maybe 1,000 naira for that. So businesses crash, people make sacrifice, they take they bear it. But why is it when the revenue started coming in, why is it that the people are not benefiting from it? Because a lot of questions were asked, even across social media. If you look at the people after the release of the budget report, people start asking questions. When during the time of Abacha, even the one that people call the tyrant, then the one who do this, who did that, who did this, when he removed some fraction in the subsidy, then he established PTF. Then PTF becomes like more. If you go to Nigerian universities up to today, you will still notice some PTF project or cars, that's buses that are used for staff or students, will be taken from the hostels to to these classes within the campuses. It helps in transportation. Then the same thing under Obasanjo, when he removed the fraction of and get some debt relief, he did some things. Then we come to the time of Yaradua, where Yaradua was even said, allegedly said, that one I don't have concrete solid data about it, but he reduced the price of fuel then instead of increasing it. When Goodluck removed a fraction of it, while even the current president were among the people who protested in 2012, said that subsidy should not be removed. Subsidy removal is more of like one of the things that if we do it to the economy is going to affect the people, is going to do a lot of things to the economy. They protested. The late President Buhari were among. The current president was among. Likes of the Adam Oshomole currently sitting. They are all around. They are the people that stood their ground and fight the government then. But when the Goodluck removed it, what did he? He brought Shopee. And Shopee, or if to the large extent, if you go and measure its performance, some people will even see it. And most of the stolen properties of federal government within the National Power Integration Project were among the money that were used from the government then to improve what? To improve electricity. But many of Nigerians stole it and used it because of our habit of destroying public properties. Then under Buhari also, he removed some fraction of the subsidy, and then he brought about Empower. It's something that people will even say something about. Yes, it's not 100. There is no large, like you, it did not yield more results. But under this government, they said when they removed the fuel subsidy, they say Nel Fund. Nel Fund, how many people are benefiting from Nel Fund? In our subsequent shows, we may even go into the universities and still ask some students the accessibility of the Nel Fund. But to a very large extent, from a strong authority, I can say TVET, that the federal government is buzzing about. They did not even pay the people their last month's allowance that they said they will give them. Allowance that is not even something that can even do anything to you. 22,000 naira. You can't even pay that a graduate or someone with that you said you are trying to empower. Now go across the vet centers across the country. You'll notice that many of the TVET candidates are not going because that money is transport allowance. So they don't have the transport to be there. So they cannot go. And you said 75% attendance compulsory. If you don't have 75%, you will not pay the person 22,000 naira, for goodness sake. While the resources the government is generating has more than triple. So what is the government doing with the resources? And they say they are constructing road. The security people are dying every year, every day. Every day, go into the newspapers, look at the reports. People are dying. That's what the newspaper are even reporting. Travel to the villages, you will see what is happening. You did not prioritize security, you did not prioritize education. Maternal mortality based on the UNDP report or the WHO report, you go and you see it is going high. Women will go to the hospital, they don't have drugs. That's why even women now in the villages, they are not going back into they are not going into the primary healthcare again. They are going back into traditional means. So all this, what is it talking about? It's saying that the government did not prioritize what will benefit the people who sacrifice the most. Because it's not the government that sacrifices, it's the public. The public are the ones who sacrifice most of the sacrifice in the fuel subsidy. Because the government continue with the lavish lifestyle. The government did not reduce its cars, its fleet, or the government did not even cut its cost of governance, but rather it increased. Because if you look at the data, is it the office of the secretary to the government? Is it the office of the governor? Rehabilitation of some buildings within the government? All is not what is saying. And look at the percentage of increase. The increase in what? In the wages of the civil servant. It's not even equivalent to what has increased. Many will say it's because of inflation. I still ask, So if you are trying to curtail inflation, then why which way are you trying to cushion the effect, or what way are you trying to pay the people for their sacrifice? Because the people have paid more. So that's it. These are things that one should be able to ask a lot of questions. So thank you. I see you are back. It's not easy.
Well, thank you so much.
Well,
It seems as though this my Wi-Fi has a different plan for me today, and I
uh,
would not give up because this is just too bad. It's just too bad, and it pictures the struggle of the everyday
yes,
Nigerian. This is the
yes,
struggle of the
actually,
everyday Nigerian. When you are basically struggling, and of course, the people that are doing the PR job for Nigerians or for Nigerian state, the failed state, they will say Nigeria is richer, everything is better, things are doing well. But in actual fact, what is the quality of life of the everyday Nigerian? Is this how backward the tech side of things is in many parts of the world? All right. Is this how the young
if you
ones
look,
and the media organizations all over the world? Is this how they also struggle with the internet network? All right. Is this their regular struggle? So, and if it is not a regular struggle, why are we struggling in the midst of plenty? If Nigeria is indeed blessed, if Nigeria is richer than ever, why should Nigerian people be struggling? All right, struggling to
because
have access
even
to.
if we can compare Nigeria, sorry, even if we can compare Nigeria with Uganda, with Rwanda, sorry, with Rwanda, you see the tech aspect of Nigeria is not even compared to Rwanda. And Rwanda just came out of its genocide crisis of 1993, and they are now doing better. That tells you the quality of leadership, what leadership can drive. When you have a good leadership, it will drive, you will think, because this is just what? This is just 30 years, 30 something years. But look at Nigeria, when last, even this civil war we had was as far back as 1970s. Then and now we are still more than 40 years. We have left it far behind, but them they have what? They have moved on. Countries like Malaysia, that we can say it, that back then we were helping them, like Singapore, China, that before we are what? We have become like more of a generous brothers to now they are giving us loan. And now people will say that this administration is doing well, and anybody that is saying, and them, look at them now, but the issue of subsidy is going here and there, and they are saying anybody who said that is going to bring back subsidy doesn't mean well for Nigeria. Them that they remove the subsidy, what have they brought to Nigeria? That's the question that everybody. We are not saying that either one this party or no. We have tested the removal of subsidy and we see what we have faced. What every Nigerian is collecting is feeling in his body. So then, and before the removal of the subsidy, we are not feeling it this hot. So then, why are you telling us that anybody that say he is bringing back subsidy doesn't mean well for Nigeria? I don't think they are being fair, because Nigerians have endured, and at least more than 30 months, Nigerians have endured. So what are you trying to tell us? For more than 30 months, and Nigerians are not seeing, the hospitals are not better, the schools are not better, the welfare is not better, the security is not better. So then what are we sacrificing? Why are we sacrificing this for, while our life cannot be better? We cannot eat good food, because now the issue of malnutrition, if we check the reports, even by the NBS, and apart from other international organizations like UNDP, if we check malnutrition, then stunted growth, and the issue of other illnesses as a result of what poor living standard is increasing every day. But the government is still saying what? They are trying, they are doing better. And some people are, look, if you are doing better, you don't need to do your PR. The people who say it, the people who say it, you don't need anybody to tell you are, because when you are doing it, you don't need anybody to praise you. You don't need to tell anybody that I'm doing this for you. The person will see it. If had it been public schools have started improving, the people don't need to even the first people that will start seeing complaining is the proprietors of private schools. They will start seeing private school teachers will start losing their jobs. Then we'll start say they say they don't have enough money to pay the staff. We have to reduce staff strength. Then we'll start seeing problems from that aspect. But we are not seeing. If even the public hospitals are better, we'll start seeing that private hospitals owners they will start going into start doing staff restraint. They'll start reducing their staff strength. They start reducing. Okay, these people will reduce this because what the public hospital are better. We'll stop seeing the yearly report of our doctors flying. If there is security, issue of food, people will start going to their farm. Everybody will go and farm. But there is no security. And our newspaper will stop reporting a death toll every day. Here we read within just 2024, 2025, and within just a year, more than 3,000 people are killed. We reported it here in one of our articles. And then people are still, and we made that, Nigerians made that sacrifice in order for things to be better for them. And things are not getting better. We need to ask them, people have to ask questions. What are we making the sacrifice for? So then Nigerians have to choose competence this time around. We are moving towards the 2027 election. Competence should be what at the forefront. Forget about religion, forget about ethnicity, forget about saying that this person is this person is that. Look at the person who represents your interests. Those political elites that have been there for a long period of time are nothing different from the one in the seat of power currently. Because they did it before, they lied to you before, and they will continue lying to you. Give those ones that you know, yes, they have genuine interest from their start to where they are. You always see them with the people. They are always in the struggle of the people. So give them the opportunity. Let's use the 2027 election to be what? To be a revolution that we all need. Because many will say revolution. No, revolution doesn't mean bloodshed. Revolution means turn around. Let's get things the right way. The way we are going is not working. So let's change the route. And for you to change the route, you can't maintain the same driver. You can't maintain the same boss. You have to change the boss and change the driver so that you'll be able to what? To move. That's why even in the street they told you follow who no road. Don't just follow anybody because you see every person will come with speed and pass you. Say I will follow. I ain't no road. Don't be like that. No, follow the person who no road. Things are not done that way. You make sacrifice, ask questions. Nigerians. That's why at Movement Radio we categorize our Nigerian problem into three. We say the collective silence, the enemies within, and the realness. So our silence is what is giving room for all this because we don't ask questions. How much money is going into the NEL fund? It's just few billions, even if it's reaching that amount. If we ask critical question, if we are going to get it, does that wage to the equivalent of the subsidy removal? How much is going in? And the worst part of it, businesses are crashing. For you to access loan in Nigeria is very difficult. They will tell you there is a bank of industry is doing that. small scales can access loan where? Let all our commercial banks and most people use fintech. And most of the fintech are giving loans at exorbitant interest rates. And nobody is asking question. And this fintech belongs to who? Those are questions that Nigerians should always ask. Who is benefiting from the exorbitant interest rates of all these fintech and their own ally that are giving loan? Who is benefiting from it? If our commercial bank, you can't just walk to any commercial bank in your street to go and say, okay, I'm a small business owner, I sell granite, I need loan of 20,000 naira. They cannot give you. But you, with your phone number, you just do beep, 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 beep. Within 1 hour, you see a loan offer. Whether you like it or you don't like it, if you can go on the internet, you see multiple loan offers. But you cannot, even the bank that you have banked with them for almost 10 years, they will tell you are not, they only give salary loan. That's when you have you are employed, then they will give you a salary loan. But a petty trader cannot access loan in Nigeria. And you said SMEs are the what drivers of economy. But the only thing you will tell them, you will empower them with 10,000 naira to go and start akara business and kuli kuli. For goodness sake. In a 21st century world, you are talking about akara and kuli kuli as what? As a driver of the economy, for goodness sake. What are we doing? Nigerians, why are we like this? We need to start asking questions. In real sense, things need to go different route. We cannot continue like this. So I'm more of ranting. I will leave my brother to continue.
Yes, I think I'm back in the main studio after so much fights. Ah, Nigeria want to. This country is finished. But well, this is not. We are not going to. I'm back to the main studio using the computer. It's been such a war, but glory be to the ancestors.
Thank God we survived through it.
Ah, I just the thing just want to turn me to a madman. I nearly ran mad because I was wondering what is going on. So I had to just go and reset the network, do a few reshuffling. Then it's crazy, man. But well, I'm back. I'll pull it up now. I mean the summarizer. I'll pull it up.
Yes, I think you just go into the mind map so that
Yes, I'll just go
because
to the mind map like that. So yes.
yes, because we are almost an hour into the program already.
Yes. We are an hour in already.
So our audience, we say sorry.
I'm just trying.
Just,
So sorry about
we,
that.
we just have to. You have to
The
bear with us.
technicality, the
The
technical glitch
technical
is
issues
just
that we have,
so crazy.
just have to keep
So
it.
I'm about to
But
share. I'm about to share the screen right now so that all of us can
all right.
see together. We can see what I'm seeing right here. It's been such an hurdle. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, I think it's balanced like this, right? Everybody can see where the windfall
Yeah, but
went.
I
Capital
think
project.
that is that the first
Okay, is that not the article?
is the article,
Nigeria
but that's
is
not the
richer
first.
than ever.
Yes, that's the article, but the beginning of the mind map.
Okay, that's not the beginning. That is the beginning. That is the beginning. You can see.
Oh, okay,
I'm
yes,
coming.
I
I'm
see.
coming. That's the beginning. But they just use, say they always bring some. You can use, okay, Nigeria revenue. Okay, you are right.
Yeah,
Nigeria revenue paradox.
yes,
I think that's it, right?
yes, that's it.
That is it. That is the beginning of it. Nigeria revenue
Yeah.
paradox.
Yeah.
Well, let's just go to the mind map a little. We have already spent 1 hour. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. But well, we'll go over it to our audience who may not understand big grammar. Make we bring them to their level, right? Make we bring them to their level. Number one, soaring revenue, stagnant welfare. Soaring revenue, stagnant welfare. That is, that they talk say we dey make more money. They talk say we dey make more money, but our development personally dey stagnant, and that is a big dilemma. When government, if they hear billion for your radio station, for your TV station, they talk say we are earning in billions upon billions. Now you dey hear, but shey you dey feel am for your own pocket? Shey you dey feel am for your own pocket? That is the question that I think everybody needs to answer, and we are here to give you some clarity. Record revenue increase from 2022 to 2025. They say that they are making more money. State fiscal capacity expanded significantly. Yeah. You talk and say your governors, they are collecting more money. Public revenue rose 210%. Yes. Federal account allocation more than tripled. Yes. Your government and your governors, based on the more revenue way Tinubu talk say them they make, all right, they are earning more. They are getting more. All right, they are getting more times 3. But are you feeling the times 3 in your own pocket? Are you making times 3 of what you were making in 2022? That is the question that this article intends to answer. Then you have real crisis, governance and priority. Yes, our government no get their priorities right. They no get them right at all. All right, because priorities means say wetin you suppose do first, wetin you suppose do second, then third, then fourth. That is priorities. Wetin you dey do per time as you dey plan your life. Wetin be the first thing wey you go do, second thing. Then you have contradiction. High revenue, low human welfare. As I talk am before, all right. Now, so money. We dey hear say government dey make money, but does it translate to your own welfare? Does it translate to how you are doing, how your business they do based on this increment? Your governors they are taking times 3 of the money where they are taking before, but does it reflect in your business? Are you making times 3? All right, are you making times 3? Not scarcity, but misallocation of funds. Yes, the money that is supposed to trickle down is going into some pockets. And the thing where they happen with that, the money no flow from up to down. Some middlemen, they colobi this money, put them for colobro. Then they put that money for their pockets. They don't allow, just like make water they flow from up. But make person can't go carry one kind big bath, can't they collect the water. Now only drop, boom, 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 boom. Now you can't they reach down. Despite the many water where they come from up, and the thing where they happen with that. All right. Budget implementation reports reveal the issue. Yes. Budget implementation. Now ain't go reveal waiting they happen for Nigeria. So may we continue for the mind map. All right. I don't take one. Make a our Oga for Movement Radio Abuja. Take the other one. This one talk about windfall. All right,
Yes.
windfall.
Say windfall
They come.
bypass the. Okay.
Okay, yeah, continue.
Say windfall bypass those in need. That's this one is just talk about say wetin the wind, as you know we dey talk, you know when breeze dey blow, e dey always bring maybe mango go fall from trees, and e go instead of make e fall from people wey dey hungry, people wey need to eat am. So e dey pass houses, e dey go drop for where they no need am. Na where this one, wetin this one dey talk. So personal expenditure lagged. That's the personal expenditure is talking about the salaries. Just at least thank you. So the salaries grew at half pace of the revenue. So instead of the people wey need am, na those people, those workers, the salary of people wey dey work, the teachers, the nurses, they know what e no increase. E just increase by what, half of wetin the revenue wey we dey what, wey don increase. We say the revenue triple, but their own what, their own the pay, because we can know, we can remember salary or the minimum wage in Nigeria increased by what, just like 100 and something percent, while the revenue increased with what, 210%, almost 220. So this one is very serious, because from 30 to 70,000 naira, that's how the minimum wage change. So you know, show e equivalent. Then wage bill share of expenditure collapses. So the salary, instead of things wey we get am right, may just be like say okay, this e dey equal, but one come collapse. People, instead of you wey fit buy bag of rice before with your 30,000 naira, now you no fit dare tell her half bag of rice. Your money no fit dare you go buy that one, because before with your 30,000 naira, you fit go try, maybe you say you buy some things, you go buy some things from the market. But now if you collect your salary sef, if you go market, na bako bag you dey carry come back. So that's how we dey take people. Then transfer reforms gain away from workers. So the reforms, the change wey don happen, no be say na the workers come dey benefit. E no go their side at all. E go to other people wey na dem come dey enjoy that one. Can you go shift it a little bit so that we'll be able to see what is under before we start? Wages did not keep pace with revenue prices. Then inflation erode real income. Inflation say erode, that's wipe real income. That's meaning of erode. E don wipe am, e clear am comot. So then we say wages did not keep pace with revenue or price. Wages, the money wey you dey collect as your salary and wetin you dey earn, e no dey the same thing with the price of goods. Your money the price of good increase with almost 200 to 300%, but your salary increase with only 110%. You see, you cannot keep up with what you can afford at home. So that's where the problem come dey, and tax come increase. That's where wahala come dey for people. Then cost of essentials double or worsen. That's essentials are things that you need to survive. Food stuff e increase by 200, by 100, or even more, be worse than 100, because mudu of rice wey you dey buy 400 before for villages, now if you go, they go dey tell you 1-2. So it's not even more than 100, it's 200 or 300. That's how the thing just keep the change. That is telling you what, things are not, to survive is not easy in Nigeria anymore. So then we let's see the third one. Or you will take it. Yes, I think we are going into the next one. So where the windfall
So,
went.
make I take that other one. Where the
Oh,
windfall
okay.
went, all right. All of the money all of the capital projects, where the thing can go, all right? Because many of us self they wonder, it reach make we have say, where all the money, all right? You have overwhelming into roads. They carry all of the money. Some of the money go into road. Capital expenditure rose 288%. Infrastructure share increase. Minister of Works dominated spending. Yes, they always tell people about this thing. Say we support push Yokomita for this. All of these contracts, road contracts, because I believe now from there that they take the chop all this money go. It's very important. Now from there that they steal all of this money. Because and if you see even what they usually brag with one thing. They usually brag with I built 10 flyovers. I built 200 kilometers of road. I've never seen them brag about there are people making more money. And I find that very, very interesting. That during my time, the salaries of our workers increased times 3. I have never seen them brag about that before. They always brag about how many roads that they are constructing or they have. And of course, many records don't expose them. Say some of the contractors where they collect this contract from government, they are owned by the very same governors allocating the contract. And in some cases, some of these contracts will not go through what they call competitive bidding. Say make different people come bid for that particular contract. So I suspect, and of course, many of these projects after all said and done, they are not qualitative. They know de kakaraka. Person build road. Never even reach 3 weeks. The road done the spoil. Can a road be that? And under normal circumstances, if you build road, anything where they build with concrete should last for at least, any road should last for at least 25 years before they even say they want to maintain them at all. But is that the case? That road, the governor built. Yeah, please proceed. You were saying something.
Sorry, I said the standard for even a concrete road should be 50 years.
Yes,
50 years for you to come back and check. And then also, they are not all these projects. There is a lot of questions on all these capital projects, because when you look at capital projects, there are always a lot of shady dealings, and you can't question them, because when you check the certificate of awardance of the contract and certificate of completion, you see contradictions. And contract, they keep reviewing. Maybe they will say, okay, that's why anytime they give route, I always ask, how many months did you give the contract will end? They will say, sometimes they will say 24 dry months. 24 dry months, you are trying to tell me in a places like Lagos, you are taking more than 8 years to construct that road. Because how many dry months do we have in Lagos? Or how many dry months do we have in Port Harcourt? Or you will tell me that, that's why sometimes people need to ask, and every year you will keep seeing that project. They will use that project as what? As a pipe to continue sucking the resources. You see that one road project for 4 years, every year, if you go through the budget, you will see that road. Like Abuja Kano Road, that road, I keep using it as example. Since 2019, that road has been under construction up to today. And every year you must see that road project in the Nigerian budget. What is happening? So that road has become a mafian pipe to loot money. Because if that's not the case, then what is happening with the contract? That contract has even when it was with Julius Berger, Baja is is going. Though that time we are complaining bitterly. For anybody that is flying that road, say they are slow, they are not taking. That's not the nature of Berger work. They used to work day and night. All this We used to complain with the way we used to know them before, but now it's even the worst. Now it's even the worst. For a 10 km, now if you said you would travel from Abuja to Kaduna, a journey of that should not be more than 1 hour 30 minutes, but you'll be spending 4 to 5 hours on the road. And sometimes, and that means you follow some other bypass around for people that know road. If you don't know road, it don't be for you. You go sleep for some places. In a place of less than 10 km here within Abuja, that they are saying they are constructing that same road that the minister, that even the national chairman was bragging, the Maraba Yanya flyover super highway that they are constructing, the flyover around there, place that is less than 10 km. Just last 2 weeks that I went to, just one have to spend 3 hours to pass there. Less than what is happening. And then all those things they will keep telling you is capital projects, but while people are still dying, you are building what for who? For you that have the car, people that cannot even afford bicycle. You are saying you are building super highway for them. Who will fly the road? Birds or sheep? Let's be realistic. You should be celebrating what? How you improve the quality of life of the people. How many people do you take out of poverty? That's what you should be celebrating. No constructing of flyovers. Sorry. So negligent of social services. That's what we are going to go next. Education spending fell as far below from 14. I think, sorry. Can you shift it a little? Yes, education spending fell as a budget share. So even the education budget, it fell from maybe 14 point something percent to 12%, even as the money increased. Before they are spending almost close to 1 trillion in the budget for the which is 14%. But this time around, even as revenue go up, the monies fall down. They increase it, the amount increase, but what the percentage decrease. While the UNESCO said what? The UNESCO said the standard is what, for 15 to 20%. For a country like Nigeria, you have no excuse but to contribute 20% of your annual budget into education. But we are even, instead of going up from 14 to reach the 15, no, we go down to 12%. So it's showing that we are decreasing. Then below the UNESCO recommendation, health spending also declined as shared below the African Union Abuja Declaration in 2001. The agreement is that a significant amount percentage should go to the educational sector, but in the budget it still go below, while we still have what? Maternal mortality rate is high. The life expectancy ratio in Nigeria is far below. It should be, before we are discussing 70, now it's almost between 55 to 63, 65. So it's telling you that every Nigerian that is now at 50 is thinking of what? Because he's suffering from one serious illness or the other. Because if that's why it's very unfortunate. So we go to the next one. My brother go take the next one. Government house problem. I think you go take this one. The government
Taking the
house
next one,
problem.
government, yes, government out. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you? Government house problem. Now, be the next issue where we want put your committer. Administrative expenditure grew. Now, be say the money where they spend for administration to run the government don't become so much. That is what they are talking about there. All right. And it should not be so. Cost of running government offices increases or increased. All right. Office of the secretary to the state government, he expands. All right. Then you have governor's office remained largest recipient. You see, they increase the amount of money they spend on budgets of the government. That they increase them, that they widen them more and more, more and more. Now the thing where they happen with that too, and then they complain say, government is not making we are not having it. Despite 3 times that they are collecting from the federal government, most of the money goes into government offices and payment of elected officials, which should not be so. All right. They will now say governor's office want to change their furniture. They want to change the SUV of Mr. Governor. They want to buy new SUVs for the House of Assembly members, for the National Assembly members. It is outrageous. It should not be so. These are the reasons why we are saying Nigeria is richer than ever based on them. Whenever they want to make any analysis to appraise their government, they will say Nigeria is making so much money. But they shift the goalposts. Immediately you start scrutinizing them. When you are asking that, why is this making so much money by the government translating to better welfare for the people? They will now flip the goalposts. They will say, if you are to compare Nigeria with Canada, or you are to compare Nigeria to Saudi Arabia, we don't have enough oil that can compare to them. And of course, our national population is more than that of Canada and Saudi. They will now shift the goalposts immediately. They are speaking from both sides of their mouth. This is how we get to where we get to. But for Movement Radio, we are going to call that rubbish. All right. Machinery of coordination outpaced delivery. Yes. Planning office grew faster than service delivery. Yes. Government is about service delivery. All right. It's not about just paparazzi. No. Borrowing means boom. Yes. You thought say you are doing well, but you are borrowing. It is very, very crazy. All right. When you say you are doing well and you are borrowing money, and the money that you are borrowing, the money that you have borrowed, you are not even out, you are not paying it back. You are just servicing the interest, and you are borrowing more money. And at the same time, with the same mouth, you are saying the government is doing well. How are these people insane? How do we even reconcile this thing, Mr. Abdullahi?
The problem is they talk am for street. If they explain Nigeria to you and you understand them, so it means say you don't run crazy.
It's crazy, oh. We should not continue like this, You have more states run deficit despite high revenue. You have aggregate state borrowing, which have increased. All right. Then moving on to the next slide before I pass the mic back to Mr. Abdullahi. Management of wind funds. All right. Treated as license to spend, not build reserve. Lack of fiscal discipline in most cases. Yes. How can you be a borrowing nation and your president is buying a yacht? Your government is using 17 billion to install solar energy. All right. How do you want to, set? And of course, I blame those that are giving us money. And many, even those bodies like IMF, don't they question Nigeria government now? Because based on the last reports that they gave out, said Nigeria could not account for over 3 trillion. What did they use 3 trillion do in the last budget? They no fit explain now. Can you imagine that? Yeah, please proceed to the next one. We'll go fast.
Next one is warning. It's warning. We dey talk about now na warning we dey talk about. And then we say one-off money dress as growth. Money wey dey come once e dey disappear na im we dey talk about. Then unsustainable revenue source. We get place where our revenue, we suppose get place where we dey know say yes, revenue dey flow every time, but our own we no get am. Na just we dey sell things, na im we dey call say, because some states na money wey dey generate from something wey dey sell their properties, their own state properties, na im dey use call say na money be that. So reliance on cyclical income, that means example properties and what transactions. That's where the money comes. That's why some state dey talk say they don dey make money when you don sell your, like now you sell house, you don sell your house and money come your house, your pocket, you go talk say you don make money. That money go continue dey come? E no go continue dey come now, because that house you don sell am. No be say na rent you even put people make dey rent. You don sell am. If you wipe that money, you don squander that money, wetin go happen? You no go get am again. Next year no be your own. You no go collect anything. So that's where the problem. Then physical illusion, not true income growth. Because yes, you don't sell your property, you don't get money. No be say you don't get steady way of getting money. It's just that you don't get money temporary for the meantime. Now just I don't get means to dey get money now. You will continue to sell that land. One land where you sell, house where you don't sell, transaction you don't make. Now once in a lifetime, no be say na every time. You don't lose them, you don't lose them. No be say, but if you don't open channel where people they work, where they generate money every day, now where you go come they get money be that. So the next one is a little bit closer. Sorry, now I can see it. What Nigeria owe itself. So now this one, now within Nigeria owe itself as a country, a crisis of priority and accountability. So we now as a people, waiting we don't owe ourselves, we too. This one, Nigeria, who be Nigeria? Now us. Because Nigeria cannot do it itself. The first one we say crisis of priority and accountability. So let's move a little. Good. We say not just scarcity, but misaligned priorities. That's where the problem. No be saying a lack, say we no get with our own problem. But how would they prioritize? How would they make things important? What we don't take important? That's why we don't they talk am from the beginning of the article. Say instead of government, maybe they talk, they look make life of people better. Make them make that one dey very important. Hunger, make them fight am. Now the most important thing, security, make them fight am. But they go they construct flyovers, they construct road. Now where would they done they talk am long before now. Then visibility monument reward over invisible work. Or you will just dey see projects, they will just dey show you structures, monuments, where they talk say we don't construct this, we don't construct that. How it take improve the life of people. Where they don't construct that flyover, where they talk they don't construct. The people where they use as workers. If that flyover don't finish, they don't finish. But if you empower the people, where they work every time they produce something, you know better. But you can't construct flyover, say this one will connect this city to this city. Then how does that transfer into before people know they follow that, they know they travel between those states? Priorities, that's waiting you make you take important matters. Need for citizen for human demand for human development metrics. Sorry, is it metrics or what? That's the citizen need to demand for development metrics. So people need to ask for things where it be real development. Not be say human development like you get a quality education, quality healthcare, security, jobs, better job, no be job wey you go just come do temporary, no, better job wey you go get, security of life, better access to capital. All those things na wetin go help the people. Then the last one, the missing will, the missing will to spend. So there is no will to actually spend on the people. That's it. Where the government they misprioritize things. They know they give important to things where they supposed give important to. Revenue is present, but will to spend it on the people is absent. They no want spend them on the people quality to improve the life of the people, to improve the quality of life of the people. That's why they know they spend them for security, they know they spend them for education, they know they spend them for health, because they know how make the life of the people increase, improve, sorry. Then moral failing, not technical. This one no be say na error wey they no sabi. Na they no wan do am. Na just intentionally they no wan do am ni. That's why we call am moral failing, not technical fail. Then require sustain. This one, wetin go fix this thing no be say na dem go fix am o. Na we the people, so we go take make dem fix am. The way how we go take do am is what it requires sustained public pressure. We need to put pressure on them, say make dem spend on public the development project. And then we demand transparency and accountability. More ask them how did they take spend this project, how much did they actually pay for this project, what's the quality of the project. If we see say the project no reach that quality where they supposed do, we must watch, we must ask them. That's how we suppose do. We should always ask question, no be say by say we go just come dey do our things, we dey allow them make dem dey do wetin they wan do. No be like that e suppose be. So we put pressure on them, we demand transparency and accountability. That's wetin this article dey tell us more do as people, as citizens. So as mobile radio, we dey help put things before us so that we too will take do the better thing as the people. So demand accountability, demand transparency. So now we can go to the next article.
I be one put
Like,
Yokometer for this particular last line.
no
We
problem. You can do it. You can do it.
yes. So talking about revenue present, but will to spend on the people where they absent. That one eats me well, and I believe say he also eat many of our viewers and listeners. All right, you see them calling trillions upon trillions. The last budget is over 50 something trillion, but how much of it goes to welfare of the people? How much of it is guaranteed to get to your own pocket? All right. And of course, how much of it is dedicated to your own welfare, providing services, providing emergency services. If anything do you, share insurance cover you. Say if anything goes wrong, are you confident that no be rice and ewa and garri na in your government go carry come give you? Are you aware, or do you have the confidence that this particular budget, you are excited that this money is going to bring more jobs for graduates, gainful employment, not this contract staff. When we say they go, they carry 70,000, 80,000, give graduate to where the likes of Tenue, Lumelu, and Albert Igwe, don't turn our banking and finance graduates to modern slaves. But we are talking about government interventions that people can feel, that you can feel them, to improve your environment, to improve your own living condition, all right, to bring about solid infrastructure that you are confident that, yeah, in this next budget year, we are going to have a water treatment facility that will bring clean water into every homes. This particular budget is aimed to provide electricity and we can bank on it. But say most of this money now for politician pocket is going to end, which is very, very bad. Moral failing, not technical. All right. They want to tell you that Rome is not built in a day. That is their typical statement. You are just holding Nigeria to high standard. Nigeria is a young democracy. Nigeria is a young country compared to US that is 250 years old. Do we have to reach 250 years before we get it right in the modern era? That is my question. So in a nutshell, our problem is not technical, it is moral. Having so-called leaders that have a sense of duty to serve their people and the moral compass that for them to notice this is bad, this is wrong, this is good, to insist on doing what is right. So it requires sustained public pressure and transparency. Yes, we have to put pressure, and this is where your own duty comes in. Because at the end of the day, now the people now in the, give all of these politicians the liver to they do what they do. Because they know say, or no go talk about it, no go even hold them to the highest level of scrutiny, or no go sorosoke. Say, on the thief of our money, oh. People are spending, and make you, they tell them, say, you are going to deal with them. Especially at the ballot. Make politician, make they peace for body, say, this thing where I do so, if I won't come back for re-election, these people no go vote for me. Oh. Can your politician have that fear? Do you have the willingness to even hold them to account even before election season, to pressure them to do the right thing? Are you part of an organization, a civil rights organization, to pressure the government? If you know they and they talk, say nothing concern you, then whatever you get from the Nigerian politician or from your politicians in Africa, you deserve it. Because all over the world, the government may want to behave naughty, but the people must stand their feet and say, no, you are not going to do us like this. We are not animals. We are humans. And if you are not bringing services that we are going to pressure you to resign because you don't know what you are doing. And we cannot afford for you to waste our time. You are wasting our time. Are you ready to do that? That is our question for you, because they say Nigeria is richer than ever, but are you feeling it? So yes, let's move on to the next article. And I believe Mr. Abdullahi Salisu would have a thing or two to say, but by and large, we have covered the first article, but this next article promises to be as interesting as the very first one. But before we move to the next article, let's take a look at what we have from this other side of things. Let's see what we can read out for your listening pleasure or for your viewing pleasure. Because it's not just about article. We want to have a little bit of decoy or some other interesting stuff that you would like. Okay, let me move a little bit further. Okay, Okay, let's take a look at this. Let me bring into the stage. Let me take this one out, then bring this one in. All right. From the Facebook page of our producer, Alaba Ferreira, can you give a comment on what is on your screen, Mr. Abdullahi Salisu? What do you think about this famous quote by Che Guevara that says, "Liberators do not exist; the people liberate themselves"? What do you think about this powerful quote as we prepare for the next article
You know
and
what
in
this
relation
one just said,
to our topic?
I think it just, yes, it's just trying to tell us that there is nobody out there that is going to be that God or that savior that you have been waiting for that will come and save you. But what is you that you will save yourself? So that demigod or anybody that you think savior that you have been waiting for is not in existence. It's you that you are the savior of yourself. Nobody is there to save you. Everybody is there. So that's how life is. So now he's telling us Nigerians, we have nobody out there from the outside world, from outside the country that will come and save us. We keep crying the United States, the UK, the UN should come and no, it's we ourselves, the people that we can. If from Ghana cannot come and save Nigeria, people from Niger cannot come and, but we Nigerians are the ones who will what will liberate ourselves. Africans, nobody from outside Africa that will come and liberate Africans. It's Africans themselves that will liberate themselves. So that's why he's saying there is no liberator. Liberator doesn't exist. Nobody is on the quest, around the world, just like the Vikings that you see. The Vikings have been traveling across Europe and taking over territories. No. So you only do what nobody is on that doing that duty. The duty is yours and you have to do it. If you don't do it, you continue to remain in bondage. So that's why the last part of the article is asking you to what? To mount pressure, demand transparency and accountability.
All right, thank you so very much. Once again, we salute the presence of our audience across board on Facebook, on Twitter, on Twitch, and on YouTube. We salute your presence, please, and of course, especially for our guests or listeners on the Audio X platform. Please feel free to grab the mic if you have one or two comments or disagreements, as the case may be. Please, we are not just a bunch of talk heads. We take feedbacks from this side of things. Feel free to question and to challenge, all right, what you are hearing. Feel free to pick up the mic and we'll be more than willing to give you a voice to speak. So, yes, going to our next article of the day, I am sharing that on the screen right now. It's about something I believe we would find very interesting. All right, doing that right now. So about fake agency, am I right, Mr.
Yes,
Abdullahi?
yes, that's it.
That is the next one. All right.
Yes,
So should I do the reading for this one, or would you
yes,
proceed to do the read? Okay, let me quickly do the reading very as fast as I can. So yes, fake agency. Remember yesterday's post about the fake agencies? Well, it gets even more interesting. Yesterday, I wrote about the two additional fake agencies reportedly uncovered by the ICPC in Tinubu's government, separate from the widened discussed Presidential Foreign Intervention Promotion Council saga involving Prince Adeniyi Adeyemi Matthew. I ended that post by asking, how does a fictitious government agency allegedly find its way into the center of government and operate from within the SGF's office? Well, apparently, we had not even scratched the surface. Today, Punch has published the names and photographs of the people presented as coordinators and representatives of the National Brand Development and Made in Nigeria Special Projects Office. And this is where the story becomes even more intriguing. We are not just talking about an alleged national coordinator anymore. We are looking at 20 state coordinators alongside representatives reportedly based outside Nigeria, including in China and the United States. Look at the photographs, look at the names, look at the positions they were presented as occupying. Then ask yourself, how does something that allegedly does not have the required presidential authorization develop this kind of structure? This was apparently not just a name on a piece of paper. There were people assigned to states. There were people representing the organization internationally. There was an organizational structure. And most remarkably, the organization was reportedly operating from within the office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. That is why I think yesterday's post has become even more relevant today, because the issue is no longer simply about whether one man created a fictitious government agency. The bigger issue is how such an elaborate structure could allegedly be built around an organization and get close enough to the center of government to create the appearance of legitimacy. Who appointed these coordinators? Who communicated those appointments? Who interacted with them as representatives of the organization? Who knew about them? Who gave them access? Who dealt with their correspondence? And how did an organization allegedly lacking the required presidential authorization get this far? These are questions that cannot be answered simply by arresting the alleged promoter and suspending 3 permanent secretaries. Those actions may be necessary, but they should only be the beginning, because Nigerians deserve to understand the system that allowed this to happen. Yesterday, I asked, who was running the real government while the fake one was operating? Today, after seeing the names and photographs of the people who were presented as coordinators and representatives, perhaps the next question should be, how many people inside and outside government interacted with this organization believing it was legitimate? And perhaps even more importantly, are there others? At this point, I genuinely hope the investigation follows the trail wherever it leads. Because if these allegations are established, this is no longer just a story about a fake agency. It is a story about how easily the appearance of government authority can allegedly be created within the Nigerian state. And that should concern every Nigerian. This is an article by Solomon Dalong, Esquire. And yes, we are going straight to the mind map. Make we for break them down for our Obodo Nigerian people.
Higher now.
Make we hire them well. Make you put your meter for the matter. All right, I'm coming. Okay. All right. Say you don't see him well. Say it clear well like that. I believe so. E clear well.
Yes,
So,
fake agency saga.
wetin happen?
Yes,
We
e clear. Fake
saga we dem
agency
talk
saga.
about face
That's
fake agent. Wetin happen?
yes.
All right.
This is what we dey talk about. You know, the issue don't they come up. Not be this one, not be the first one. This one at the second time where they discover fake agency for this current administration where go President Tinubu they govern. And this one will say uncovered agencies, two additional fake agencies. So now as they don't uncover, they don't that means they don't open something where they cover where they hidden before. Now is in the open. Another two agencies, that's just like you have two another other ministries or sectors in the same government where no be true, no be real, they don't they happen, they we don't see the two again. And then separate from Presidential Foreign Intervention and Promotion Council. This one is from that previous one, different from that previous one where we don't know. Where did they talk say in our intervention promotion council from the that's under Ministry of Foreign Affairs stuff. So this one a different one, a fresh one, what we don't get again. So can we move? So now this one, the name be say na National Brand Development Office. That the other one we say is foreign what promotion intervention council, but this one we say na brand promotion. The structure they get so this one they get structure. We know they talk about just one or two people. It gets solid structure with what national coordinator. The ministry we don't get the agency get national coordinator and e get 20 state coordinators and e get international representative. One way dey China and the other one way dey US. All these ones we dey talk about what now fake mean agency o. No be say na agency wey we dey talk say na true agency. Then operational concern. So this one, how did they take operate? The waiting concern Nigerians or waiting should concern us is what operating from office of the SDF. This one they operate from the number 5 citizen of the country. That's after the president, the vice president, the senate president, the speaker. The next person is the secretary to the government of the federation, SDF office. So they operate from that office. That's to tell you how close the office, the people they with the office of the president. Now in they like the engine room of the government. So now from that office they operate. And then you get what alleged link with what presidential authorization allegedly and they talk say they lack presidential authorization. President don't know about them, but the office they operate within the office of this secretary, the secretary general to the government of the federation. So this one a question what we supposed ask you. How that office go they take operate why we know they get this thing? It's no it's something where we need to question. Even the president fit go dey involved with this one because e dey very close to im office. Something dey happen for your domot and you dey talk say you no know or you no give assent. Person dey sell something in front of your house and you dey talk say you no know say that thing dey. So development elaborate structure. Developed elaborate structure. So e get wide structure. E get people wey 20 people, e get state coordinator, e get international representative. So it's not easy. No be tell us say no be something where they happen. So the next one is key question raised. So question where this article don't raise. The first one, how did it gain legitimacy? How this thing take get legitimacy? That how it take day valid? And who appoint the coordinators and who interact with them? How did it get this far? So how this one are four questions now straight where you suppose ask, where people they ask, why every sane person suppose ask. How did this thing get legitimacy? Who appoint those coordinators? Who interact with them? That's how they take operate, how these coordinators they take operate, who they give them order and who they submit report to. How did it get this far? Why is it at the beginning they don't know about them? It's now that they know about them. So we need to ask question about this. Then the next one, mhm. So investigation scope, that's the space or the how the this thing, how the investigation, the findings should go. It should go beyond, it should go far. Not be say make e dey very small. This is, it should be wide enough to cover what? Go beyond arresting promoters. Promoter. That's go beyond arresting just few people. That and what? And then saying that they don't sack three permanent secretaries. No, we go beyond that one. Beyond suspending them, beyond arresting just few individuals, need to understand the system. How will the system give room? How will a system that we say is functional with people working on it, with the president, vice president, with staff as chief of staff to the president, with senate president, with what, with nice speaker, house of representative. We have a lot of offices, and then something like this will happen, and nothing will. Nobody is answering questions. Then broader implication. This one is showing that what, how the problem is possible to what, to go far beyond that. Then appearance of government authority. This one is show what it is show say now to how people go they take see government authority. Ease of creating legitimacy. So now you feel any government agency or any government authority go feel spring up. You go feel come up like this. People go get distrust. Now, for example, you dey your shop, you see anybody say na from revenue service, in dey come, you wan collect tax from your hand, you go feel dey wonder whether this one na fake or na real. So trust between people and this thing e go come develop. Appearance of government authority go then dey lose credibility. Then ease of creating legitimacy. People wey dey fake go fit them too, they go fit come dey operate, dey get their own, people go think say na valid because everybody now go dey fear. Then concern is a concern for all Nigerians. Everybody now should be asking question, which one is real, which one is not real. How we go fit identify real and how we go identify the one wey is not real, and how many people don interact with these people. How many people maybe from outside or within Nigeria wey don interact with these people, and how did they create say they be true? How people take believe say these people be true? So now the concern of many Nigerians, almost all Nigerians.
Get the matter it get as it take be, and we must, expose them because it don't really make sense, that a government go allow this kind thing happen, not just once, but 2 times. It don't make sense. It don't make sense. And it even validates some allegations out there that this government is involved in so many shady activities that would want to make you question whether or not this is a government or a mafia system. Because it not to make sense. Every government endeavor should be public and it should go through due process. But when you now begin to see fake agencies, you know that something is wrong somewhere. And people need to do a thing, make they talk out.
Ask questions.
Make they shame this government. And of course, my ancestors have this proverb, Entoba dake, intara aba dake. That is, person wey keep quiet. Now, the thing where they do am for body go help and keep quiet. But if you are going through something in your body and you shout, please, I beg, gonna save me, something they do me for my body, Now, from that shout, 9 people go gather. And from that gathering, now solution go happen. You never can tell who among the crowd, after you don't shout, go provide solution to wetin dey happen to you. And our Nigerian, obodo Nigerian people, they don't want to scream, they don't want to shout, they don't want to tell the whole world that something is wrong in their country, that things are not the way they should be. And of course, next steps and further question make we ask, we say, how many believed it was legitimate? How many of una don't believe say that particular agency of the government they legitimate or they original? How many people outside even the Nigerian people, how many entities outside Nigeria don't do dealings with those agencies thinking that is a very original agency? That is number one question. Number two question, we say, are there other similar organizations? See, other ones save day, we will never even know.
Don't get through.
Yes, as we don't see through like this, now be say possibility say make other ones save day is they very, very plausible. That one a big oyinbo. It possible say make other agencies wey be fake save still dey, as we don't see too. So, and of course, investigation must follow the trail. But now this one, now they always worry me pass, because Nigerians, now them go follow. Now, instead make they follow investigation, they go they allow make investigation, they follow them. You ask yourself, how many of these kind of cases don't reach the light of the day? How many of this kind of investigation, now we don't see the end of it, and people involved are prosecuted and made public? Hope we are not going to sweep this one under the carpet again, which is the main concern. Hope is not going to be swept under the carpet again. Hope they are not going to give them soft landing. Now, this country we dey, where many corrupt entities, where even the government of that day talk say this thing not true it be. They have convicted these people for so crime. But what happened to the culprits, people who commit the offense? They are either been given soft landing, they give some of them ambassadors, some army generals, where they talk say steal money, we supposed go to arms deal. Many of them, they are ambassadors now, or in one areas of responsibility or the other. The governor of Kano State, where we cash am, they cash am red-handed, they collect dollar, they put am for Isa Babariga. Where is the man now? Let's even assume, say, because of immunity, which is a very big problem also. How can you be in an office and you are immune from being probed if you do what is wrong? That is already red flag right there. But now, you are out of power. Have they probed that case? And what position? That same man now is serving in a very big capacity in your aviation industry. What do you want to talk, Mr. Abdullahi?
You can't predict Nigeria. All these issues, after 2 weeks, 1 month, they will go down the drain. Everybody must have forgotten. They will use political campaign and joke around with it, and all will be. It's not even under the carpet. They will dig ground and bury it forever. Until when some people decide to ask some questions, then those people will be used as a scapegoat. And the Ganduje case, if you look at Jafar, the journalist that revealed the issue, he have to run to England for asylum for some years before he come back. And now London is his own home now, not longer Nigeria. Someone from Kano, so just doing his own responsibility. You have to run to other countries for asylum. So all those things are things that, and then Who even go down to say, okay, as we see that single individual with it, and then the issue of so many people come out and say it, and one of them even challenged. One said that he challenged any governor in Nigeria that will come and say that he's not collecting kickback. Well, most of the capital project they are giving, apart from giving it to their own friends and family companies, they are collecting kickback of almost 10%. And he said he challenged any one of them to come out and say he's not collecting. And nobody said anything. And Nigerians forgot about it. So that's the problem we have. Problem of always behaving insane. Behaving like, that's why I like always saying that being a gentleman is being what? Being crazy. That's why Fela said I'm not a gentleman, because gentleman is, to me, is madness.
You get as to take bill for this country. And somebody's got to talk about it, you know. And we are poised at Movement Radio to address some of these issues and, you know, analyze them very succinctly. We will analyze them, make it clear where. Say, now the people we now they deal with for Nigeria be this. And the people that they call on our leaders for Nigeria be this. How can you steal money in dollars? Dollars. And instead make it for in many other countries. In China, they will have even forgotten that they have gotten rid of that kind of entity, stealing public resources. But the Nigerian system is not operating in that way. The level of impunity is so staggering. It's crazy. It's almost unreal. Almost unreal. The permission to behave anyhow, the anyhowness is beyond comprehension. You know, if you comprehend them, why should a country be like this? And if you have to look at what is on your screen, when principle becomes casualties of political loyalty, when principles become casualties of political loyalty, what does this one mean? All right. Everybody get principle of right and wrong. Abi, no be so. Everybody get principle. But when that principle now becomes second stage, or you throw it out of the window because of, say, you need to be loyal to a party. Nobody is saying make you no choose party of your choice. But how about when there is so much evidence that the party where you belong is found guilty of so much impunity, like the one where we talk now APC government, they power these two fake agencies now APC government, they for power. What should be the role of a right citizens? Their role is to be patriotic enough to call out their political party that this is wrong. I am a member of APC, but this is wrong. This should be, investigated, and the culprits, meant to face the book, meant to face the music, should be brought to book. But how many APC members, they call all of these things where they happen for APC governments out? This is what we are talking about. When principle becomes casualties of political loyalty, you have end corruption. There are two sets of people in that particular picture. For those of us that are not on the video platform, one particular part of the picture features some protesters saying end corruption. Good governance is a right. Accountability now. They are raising placards. Nigeria deserves better. While at the other side of that protest is a counter protest of people saying and holding the placard, Tinubu is working. Our man, our pride, APC forever. All right? This is the reality that is staring at us in the face. Blind loyalty. People are blindly supporting politicians without any form of, decency or decorum or reflection on the antecedents or the performance of the person whether they follow, or whether or not that person has the humanity and the respect for the citizenry. They are following blindly, and that is those that you call major contenders. This is what is happening. Blind support. Some of Oyibo people call them cult of personality. All right, when people just follow people blindly. So, what do you have to say about this, Mr. Abdullahi? As we round up, I think we have done 2 articles and we have gone over 2 hours already. What do you have to say as your comment?
Now, this one is just trying to tell us how the society is. Because while others are struggling to make things right, others are struggling to maintain the rotten system. So it's just more of like a battles of who at the end of the day is going to win. But if you look at the faces of those ones saying the bad governance must end, they need good governance, corruption must stop, and the faces of those ones that are saying that the government is working and this APC forever and all this, even as it's more of AI generated and there are no actual human faces. But if you look at it, the picture depicts a lot of messages trying to tell you that people are what questioning a lot of things. A lot of things are happening. So it's just that the more you try to make sure that things get better, so the more you see more people coming up with their your counter argument that they are thinking that the system should continue like that. But it's quite unfortunate. We just have to keep struggling. One day we are going to get it better. But Nigerians must ask the right question, must take the right action at the time that we all need to make sure that things go the right way. Oh, thank you.
So, let's quickly read this particular article from Abdul Mahmoud. Abdul Mahmoud from
Yes.
Facebook as we round things up. Let me quickly do the reading, then we'll be done for today. I have read a few Facebook posts about the NBA Annual General Conference taking place in Port Harcourt. Koikoi Solomon's post on the shoddy arrangement appears to have captured the mood better than most. But my concern lies elsewhere, and it is, for me, a more fundamental one. 2025, Enugu AGC key nota Julius Malema. 2026, Port Harcourt keynote George Weah. This is something increasingly strange about the leadership of the NBA. Whether at the national or state chapter, I worry about the culture of anti-intellectualism that appears to have eaten deep into the heart of the profession. For a profession that ought to be the natural home for ideas, argument, scholarship, and serious engagement with the questions that shape society, the choices we make about whom we place at the center of our intellectual gatherings say something about the direction in which we are headed. The greatest worry for me, however, is the dumbing down of public discourse on a continent that has produced and continues to produce thinkers of the depth of Mandani, Mbebe, and Chief G. The elevation of Weah as its keynote keynoter feels like a profound lowering of the intellectual bar. And of course, the NBA, the news had it that they also invited VDM on the same podium, all right, with intellectuals. And of course, it's just in a bid to go viral. But how can we consider going viral and use it as a substitute for substance? And speaking about intellectual, permutations and addressing societal issues, all right, profiling solutions to societal issues. This is where we are, ladies and gentlemen. I pass the mic to you, um, Mr. Abdullahi, as we give our closing remarks.
So regarding what Abdul Mahmoud said, it's just something that it reflects the rotten system that we're battling with. Because ordinarily, when you look at the arguments before, when you listen to even paper presentations and issues, even if maybe you say maybe a valedictory session of any of the judges or even SAN that is like deciding to retire, when you will go there, you will be schooled. But now it becomes what, more of like a dinner. Like you go and eat, you drink and wine and see some friends and make some connections and stand up and go. So that's what the NBA is trying to tell us, that it has reduced itself to be. So that saying, that name that they are calling themselves Leonard Seal, please and please, they should not go and lost it. Because if before you can even remember, you for those that are acquainted to maybe the media, then even the Nigerian media alone, in the far years, like 10 years before now, when the likes of the current Minister of Aviation, that's Kiamu, the likes of the this thing, Femi Falana, they are like contributing a lot. Then the likes of this person, I forgot the name, but a lot of intellectuals within the legal perspective, where you see different perspectives regarding some court decisions, regarding some cases, and you see arguments and counter arguments, intellectual arguments. That before, even if you want to learn some things, you want to have more robust intellectual discussions, you go to the courtrooms. But now, when you go to courtrooms, what you are going to see is certain arguing. Sometimes you even wonder what they are even arguing. Just setting bad precedents to the. So it's quite disheartening that an intellectual fora that should be what, encouraging the younger lawyers, that's the younger barristers, to come up very energetic. So the likes of now currently, maybe say Femi Falana, they will be weeping when they remember the days of their Ganifa Yemi, and they will be saying that no, 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 no. This is not the legacy we're about to leave for our own children. Because most of the top top professionals now, most of them, if they retire, while some of them have dived into politics. So we don't know what we are going to get at the end of the day. Like, because we missed the like the chipping in of like Professor Mike Ozokome and a lot of them, that you see that okay, when you listen to this person, you see you have a divergent view. When you listen to this, and all of them intellectually with reference that will make you to what, to read law. But now all that they are going to do in law, not just to go and argue and defend the weak, but to go and get the money. Quite, that's why people like VDM, which we know, is the person that encouraging the system to maintain itself will be called upon to go and be a spokesperson with high intellectual people. So you expect the likes of Femi Falana to be sitting to be listening to BDM, trying to educate him on what? Life experience is far better than him, intellectually far better than him. Then what is he going to educate him there? What is he going to talk to him about? Oh, yeah, expect the likes of Michael Zokome to be seated there, and then someone like VDM is there to address him. So it's more of a dinner table where you expect to see all kind of people to come and sit down and laugh and talk and leave. So the yearly annual MBA lecture this time around, or from previous, just in recent years, it has been changing its own culture. Because before you see the papers that will come out of that will be used to solve a lot of issues. Sometimes they will look at uh, maybe some of the social or political issues happening around the country, and they will provide solutions from there. And they will advocate at the end of the, and they will push it forward. But this time around, if you look, what are the takeaways from the MBA, apart from the speech of the Shore, and then some few people that you see from there? So you say the takeaways are less and they are insignificant. So sorry for us. That's what we have for today, and we thank our audience across all the social media platforms. We'll see you on Thursday, same time. I remain Abdullah Salisu from Abuja. Back to our Lagos studio.
And we give thanks to all our listeners across board once again, on our X platform, across board, on our YouTube platforms, and of course on Twitch and Facebook. Thank you so very much for joining the broadcast. Please feel free to drop your comments if you are watching the repeat broadcast. And of course, the repeat broadcast will come to your screens tomorrow, to indeed get the gist of what happened today. Tell someone to tell somebody about the Movement Radio, and look forward to a fresh edition on Thursday. Until then, have a great evening, and we indeed wish that these broadcasts would indeed reshape the minds, change the narrative, and empower the minds of people, knowing fully well that Nigerian struggle was mischaracterized as a pro-democracy one. Right? It is not a pro-democracy struggle. It's a liberation struggle. Awaken the conscious, make all of us day conscious, and Sorosoke, speak up, pressure the government to do the right thing. All right. Nigeria has become captured by very strong people, and these guys are very ruthless and very evil. It will take a very conscious citizenry to rewrite and, of course, bring us to the course of progress, because Nigeria has been on a downward slope, at least since the early 80s until now. We did on a free fall. Things just they go from bad to worse, from bad to worse, from fry pan to fire, from fry pan to fire. And now we cause them. Because we just did too docile. We did allow everything. We did allow make anything just they happen to us until we rise up. All right, liberators do not exist. No Superman anywhere. The people liberate themselves. Now we go free ourselves from waiting we get go through for this country. Until then, we will still be here to keep up the reminder. Make we remind ourselves until we are able to liberate ourselves. We'll see you on Thursday. Thank you so very much. And of course, enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.